Hello and welcome back to Beauty Bee and to my first and only update for my very quick Untitled Project Pan. The very short version of this project is I am moving now in about 3 weeks, a little less actually, and I have just a lot of little things that were sitting around that I decided I didn't want to take with me. So I'm trying to use some of them up, and that's it. That's the whole concept of the project. So let's start out with some things that I haven't used and I suspect I will not. These are the deep cleaning pore strips. These are from Up and Up, but they're similar to the Pore ones that people were using quite a bit a couple of years ago. My skin is not in a place right now where I think I can use these. There's a lot of pollen in the air. My skin just feels sensitive. Not horribly, it doesn't hurt, but sometimes it just feels tight, and I definitely don't want to be pulling at it and scratching at it with these Pore pads. I also live in a sunny place. I'm quite fair. I burn pretty easily, and even if it's not quite a burn, I will pretty regularly have just a little bit of pink in this area from now until September or so. I think I'm probably just going to get rid of them. I've had those for far too long, and it's just time. Another item, I've not yet used this Yes to Coconut Hydrate and Restore Sheet Mask. I will probably use that, I don't know, tonight, tomorrow. That seems like a good plan. I actually have quite a few empties, but I think I'm going to keep those for the end, and next we're going to go through the things that I have been making progress on. One of them is in my shower, and I'm not going to get it out because I'm guessing that it's kind of wet. That is a Acure facial scrub. I've been using it more on my shoulders and my legs. It is a very scratchy scrub. It's not the kind of thing that I would want to use any more than once a week, and probably once every other week would be a little bit better for me. And I think I am unlikely to finish that in time. An item that I think I am more likely to finish is this Sephora brand Ultra Glow Serum. Oh, I couldn't see through it earlier. I think holding it up to the sunlight, I think I'm right around here. I don't think this tube was all that full to begin with, and you actually need quite a bit of this. Let me see if I can show you. It is very, very liquidy, and I find that it sinks in super, super quickly. I feel like when I put some on my hand, by the time that I even get to my face, I think some of it is sunk into my fingers, and I feel like I need to dip in again after I've done my cheeks in order to actually have any product that's getting on my forehead and my nose and my chin. So I find myself using a lot of it. For that reason, I think this is not something that I would get, but this is a lot more pleasant way of applying vitamin C than the ordinary vitamin C. That's quite gritty and it feels warm on the skin in a way that I don't dislike, but I don't particularly like either. This is more pleasant, but I think it would add up quite quickly because you do need to use a lot every single time you apply. Next up, we have my Bite lipstick. This is in the shade Negroni, and that is all I've got left. I did a video a few days ago, maybe more like a week at this point, where I used this for 4 consecutive days, mixing it in different ways to get something that's a little bit more wearable, because for me personally at least, this kind of bright satin finish, maybe even more like cream finish red, is not a super wearable, easy everyday color. But messing around with it, layering it, blotting it, yada yada, I was able to get quite a bit of use out of this. I looked back at my tally sheet and I saw that when I finished Sazerac, which was another lipstick that came in the same set, same size and everything, It took me 25 uses to pan it completely. This is currently sitting at 21, so I think that the end is well within sight, and I think that this should definitely be able to move out by the end of the project. I think the makeup item that I have the smallest chance of finishing is probably this shadow from NYX. This is originally from my Nouveau Chic palettes, but it's been repressed. And I've expanded the pan quite a bit since my introduction, but there is just so much product built up on the sides, which if I was going to pick an item to still be around, I think it would be this one, because I mean, this just goes into a magnetic palette. It's easy to pack. It's not like I'm not going to bring this magnetic palette with me anyway, so yeah, it would be nice to have my numbers down a little bit more, but no big deal. Then the last update item we have is my Tarte blush in Harmony, and there is so little of this left. I mean, I used it today fairly lightly. I mean, I don't have a ton of blush on today, and I expanded the pan significantly. I think there is probably about a week left of product in there. I'm really only concerned about the blush right in the middle. I don't really care about getting all the way out to the edges. That's just more work than I'm willing to put in for this product, but it's getting close. I think we will make this, maybe even with some time to spare. Now let's get to the really exciting stuff, the empties. The first is just a single-use mask. This is from the Creme Shop, and it's their Honey Lavender Fusion Sheet Mask. It's a sheet mask. It smelled nice. It was pleasant enough. That's really all there is to it. I also have a couple more, not quite single-use, but maybe 2 to 3 use items. This Skin Fix Barrier Plus Lipid Boost 360 degree eye something. Probably should have been more like a week's worth, but this was just much thinner than I expected. So when I poured it out, I got about half the product, maybe even more like 2/3 of the product on my hand. And I can't tell if this was any good or not based on the 2 uses that I got out of it, but it didn't do anything terrible, and I'm glad to have it gone. I feel pretty much the same way about this Lancome Paris Advanced Genifique Youth Activating Concentrate. I enjoyed this, I think mostly because I felt really fancy putting on Lancome skincare. I don't know that it did anything, but again, it didn't do anything terrible. I don't know how you're supposed to judge whether or not you like something from 2 days of product. An empty that I don't have with me, I think I just threw it out after my empties video, was the Valentino mini perfume in Voce Viva. I really liked that scent. It was fantastic. I flew through it. I think it's one of those rare scents that would feel seasonal year-round. It's warm enough that I think it would feel cozy during fall and winter, but it's also light enough and floral enough for spring and summer. Anyway, it's gone now. I enjoyed it. If I were to purchase a, let's just throw out $100-ish perfume, I think that would be very much on the short list. I also finished up this Sol de Janeiro Sol Curosa 62 perfume. There's a little bit at the bottom, but I wasn't getting any when I tried to spray it earlier. This is kind of an interesting scent. It's very beachy and very warm, and I liked it, but I wasn't crazy about it on me most of the time. I had an experience with this that I'd never had before. This smells so much better when it's humid. I would wear this all day long, and I'd put it on in the morning, and then I'd get in the shower at night, not having smelled it for hours, and I would just get this whiff of it. It's like, dang, I smell really, really good right now. I never noticed it other times of day. I only noticed it in the shower as I was washing it down the drain, but it smelled really, really good for those moments. I think that maybe someone with different body chemistry or who was outside a lot more than I am, it could smell like that all the time, and I'm kind of jealous of those people. I forgot one of my skincare empties. This is the Belief, the True Cream Aqua Bomb. It is gone. I don't know why I'm showing you, but this is just not a great product. For me, this was just not great. I don't even know that this was good. I felt like I had to layer quite a bit on to even feel like I had any moisture on my skin. And I don't always wear daytime moisturizer anyway. And I can't say that I felt significantly different by about midday if I used this versus if I just skipped moisturizer completely. I feel like even for my normal, sometimes verging on oily skin, though I really haven't been oily at all this year. I've been pretty right down the middle, normal lately. This just didn't do enough. I think if you're the oiliest of the oily, it might be good for you, but everyone else, probably not. And then for my most exciting empty, I have my Kat Von D Locket powder, and it is gone. There's a little bit that's stuck to the side, but none's coming out anymore. I had this for so long. I think I had this for 2 years, at least. A little more than 2 years, actually, because I would have gotten this in April of 2019. And it was very slow going for most of that period. I just kind of decided that I was going to get my use out of it when I started the project, and I used up about from this pink line down over the course of the last 3 weeks. So I've learned that it is possible for me to use up a loose powder. I just have to be way more consistent than I would ever naturally be with a powder. Which, you know what, is fine because I don't have any loose powder now and I don't really intend on purchasing one. And I think that with that, we have reached the end of this update. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed or you want to see the finale in a couple of weeks. And I really hope that I will see most of you then. Bye.